Riti, I have just sent the request. So accept it when we are introducing you. All right. So hello and good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you for joining in today's session presented to you by Wings. Today, for the first time, we are logged into two platforms, and which is Facebook and Instagram. So you might see my eyes juggling between the two screens. It is just that I'll try to make the maximum eye contact with all our viewers on both the platforms. So please bear with us. So, Women with Wings. It's a collaborative platform which brings forth the uniqueness of every woman and story of her relentless efforts. We believe that every woman must love herself by pursuing their dreams and in process empower other women by sharing their own unique journey. I, Sudiksha Mukherjee, by profession, I'm a business transformation consultant. And to fulfill my own dreams and passion, I stepped into health and fitness. And I've been working on my own fitness levels for the last couple of years and also pursuing certifications. Um, we just get in. Okay. Sorry, there was just a request on the other platform. Okay, so 1 second. I'm so sorry about this, but yeah. So I've been following health and fitness for the last 2 years, and I'm following pursuing some certifications to work on my own skills and under Institute of Nutrition and Fitness Sciences, so that I can give back to the community by coaching on their fitness goals. So with that, I bring into you today's session, which is chasing fitness as a way of life. Now, we've often heard that if something doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. But what is it? What is that small thing that makes the difference? Is it just thinking about that challenge or going through it? Is it just gaining experiences or time and again taking a step back and reflecting on those experiences? So, what better than meeting a person today who actually walks this talk and for whom this indeed is the mantra that if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. It's an absolute pleasure for me to welcome Riti Sahai. Riti, welcome on this show and the session
Hi,
today. And
Sudhika.
I, as a budding, hi Riti. As a budding fitness enthusiast, it's a great opportunity for me to get to talk to you, delve deeper into your life experiences, and share those insights with all of you as we talk to you today.
It's a privilege to be here. I both our systems together. So that's
Yeah,
making
it
noise.
is. I, I'll just mute the Insta.
Technology and its challenges.
Just give me a minute. I think we have to log off from there. Or maybe can you mute your Instagram, Riti?
No, I'm not a I'm actually challenged. I think it's because both the systems are supporting each other. The whole mute inside Vatsala.
Yeah, I did mute it from my end. Can you just touch on the screen and see? Yeah, it's
Too.
worked.
But can everybody hear us on Insta?
I don't think so.
Guys, can you hear us? Uh, can you hear us, guys?
I think they can hear us on Facebook.
Can you guys hear us on Instagram? Can anybody tell us? Both of us are on mute. Hang on. Okay,
Yeah,
our
but if I unmute, then it will be noisy.
No, Anushka says not audible.
Yeah. Vatsala, are we both audible on Instagram? Because I have put it on mute. Can you confirm? No.
Yes, Anushka says yes.
Okay.
That challenge is not an Insta. Because you're on mute now, you have to go on mute. Diksha?
Okay, I think we'll continue on FB for now because it's getting a little interrupting here.
Yes, I left. Sorry, but I had to leave Instagram.
Yeah, even I am doing that. Sorry about this. Let's continue it here.
You can always share this video on Instagram.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll share the recording. So without further delay, let's continue here. And let me take this opportunity to quickly introduce Reeti Sahai for people who don't know who you are yet. So born and brought up in an army background, Reeti has always been an avid sports enthusiast since her school days, a successful entrepreneur now, a Boston marathoner, and so many other marathons to mention actually. Running is the core of Reeti's fitness regimen, which is fueled with yoga. She's also a certified functional trainer, endurance cyclist, high altitude mountaineer, and mommy to beautiful dogs. So she has been in the past the captain of the Adidas Runners Delhi, wherein she has inspired and motivated many coaches and many people and coaches runners from across Delhi NCR. So welcome Reeti once again. It's a great pleasure to have you here, and looking forward to know a lot from you from your life experiences.
It's an absolute delight to share the screen with you, Sudiksha. I'm super happy to be here and happy to be sharing my journey so far with everyone around who's watching. Thank you all for joining us.
So, very first question, when we talk about fitness, most of us, and in fact, it had happened with me also, especially because I was not growing up into a very all the time something related to fitness or anything, not that kind of an environment. So most of the people have this question, how does it begin? So my first question, and many people will be interested to know that, how did the very first long run or say the half marathon for you happen?
So
and what were your first experiences?
So like you rightly said, I come from a Fauji background, born, raised, traveled across the length and breadth of not just the country, but also been to a couple of places abroad. Discipline and decorum was something that came with, bringing us all up. I'm part of 3 siblings. I have a sister and an older brother, and outdoors was just something that came, with growing up. So sports was something that we were thrown into. We didn't have a choice, There was a time in a day, dedicated time, that mom would throw us out of the house. It's time for you to go play in a park and come. So stuff like that, that took me to sports in school, from long jump to high jump to track and field events. I mean, name it, and I'd participate. So one thing led to the other, and then of course, college happened, and of course, the love remained. Sports was an integral part of my life. But when the corporate world happened, one never gets time really to be able to do what you want to do. So I wasn't getting time for anything once I had joined the corporate world. It was crazy, 8 to 9 hours, and by the end you're dead meat. You have no energy. And I'm also a morning person. I'm not somebody who likes. I mean, I prefer working out in the morning. I'm an early bird, so I would get so irritable that I'm not getting time to do what actually makes me happy and keeps me sane. So one fine day, I just said, you know what? I think I need to start running. And I started carrying my running shoes to work. And even if I got a little time at lunch, or, it was an hour that was free between meetings, I would just go to, go for a short run. We also had a gym in office. So, I had a little time that I could use there as well. So stuff like that. And a bit of the credit also goes to our then CEO, Dr. Mukesh Adhi. I know Vatsala is listening and she would agree. He's also an avid marathoner, and he wanted the company and the people. He wanted the people of the company super fit. He said, if you all are fit, you're healthy, I know you guys will be far more productive. So we had a leader like him. So he ensured that the entire company was made to sign up for the Airtel Delhi Half Marathon 7K run. The Delhi, it was called the Delhi Great Run or something like that. But because I had started running, I said, you know what, I'm going to sign up for the half straight away. Let's see. It's just 21 kilometers. I'll go and do it.
Yeah.
And so I signed up and I went and ran the 21K. And I enjoyed thoroughly. I still remember, I think that was the most special run of my life. If you ask me today, you have to take me back to that one run. That was it, and then that's it. I haven't looked back. Life has changed. It's been glorious, and running has given me something that nothing else has been able to give, So that was really my first half marathon. No formal training, none of that. But it was just my time. It was something I wanted to do in order to stay fit, in order to stay sane, in order to, just get that workout done. So that's really how the first half marathon happened. And this is way back in 2010. So it's been 11 years. Yeah, that's when I started long distance running. True.
Yeah. So just as they say that sometimes like overthinking, too much of planning, it doesn't work. You just have to dive into it and get started.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I also feel, I keep telling people when they ask me about running, I think running is something that all of us know or can do. It's organic, it's primal. It's just one foot in front of the other. It's about wanting to get there.
Yeah.
Slow and steady, and it can all run. So, yeah, I just took the plan. At that point, I had no other option, no other time. So, and that's how, like I said, the first marathon really happened.
Yeah, but even though you were like growing up into a fit environment and everything, but there was a little bit of a break, which might have, got your fitness levels a little maybe in the backseat. So maybe when you did this first run that you're talking about after a long time in 2010, so how did you push yourself towards the last few kilometers? Because we often hear that it's the last few kilometers that becomes too difficult and you feel like giving up. So even then, how did you manage to do that?
So I believe firmly that, it's about the mind. The mind, if you can hold on to the mind, it'll hold on to the body. It's as simple as that. If the mind believes it, the body executes it. So I keep talking to myself, the last few kilometers are always hard, whether it's a 5K for somebody, a 10K, a half marathon, or a full marathon. It's as hard the last few kilometers for that runner. It doesn't matter if it's a full, even somebody who runs a 10K, the last couple of kilometers will be brutal. So, I keep reminding myself of the training days that I went through, all the sweat and hard work that I put in, woke up at 4 in.the.morning, and actually did so much that, gave up so much, waking up at 4 o'clock, and not partying on a Saturday night, waking up at 4 and going for the strenuous workouts or the training sessions that I trained, to be able to run that. The other thing that I do is I visualize success, how I'd feel when I cross that finish line. I'd be elated. What am I going to go get? It could be a beer. It could be, so basically I'm also visualizing success, the feeling, that incomparable feeling that a runner would know when you cross that finish line. And I do have a few mantras. You began by quoting one, which is my complete favorite. People who know me, they know that I live by it. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't fit you. So I keep telling myself that.
I actually picked it up from one of your things. So I thought that let me relate that. And I'm sure that you'll keep resonating a lot with it and talk more about it for us.
Yeah. So, and also I believe in enjoying the journey. As a runner over 11 years, I've realized that it's not just a destination, We as runners have become so resilient in our minds and, that we will cross the finish line. But, it's not just about that focus for the finish, but it's also being able to smile through the journey, enjoy the process, think of the training you put in, think of the people that supported you, be grateful while you're running, just enjoy that journey. So, that's how I actually finish a marathon. One thing else that really works for me is I break that run into, like a 42.2 kilometers for me is 4 10 kilometers. And like the last, then I tell myself, listen, it's only a 2.2 to go. So, it's like telling myself 10K done, 3 more 10Ks to go, Reeti. 2 more 10Ks to go, Reeti, So that's how I just keep telling myself, okay, 10 done, 30 to go, 20 to go, stuff like that. So various ways of pushing myself. And yeah, I guess you've just got to do what you've got to do. You sign up for it, you've got to
Yeah,
finish it. You don't give up.
very true,
Yeah,
very true.
you don't give up so easy. You start
Yeah,
giving up.
and this is a right. And this is such a simple thing that you just mentioned, and we kind of, if we go back to our school days, that's how we would complete our, even the courses before our exam. We would break it down. But why can't we simply apply it to our lives when we are asked to achieve our fitness goals? And why can't we just really think of breaking it down? This is like a wonderful and a very simple thing to just pause and actually try to practice in our lives.
Yeah. And like I said, I always, because I remember when I ran my first marathon, I was like, oh my God, 42.2K, how will I finish it? You know what I mean? You obviously don't know
Yeah,
what. Yeah.
the entire thing is very overwhelming if you try to look at it at the very big picture, unless you just try to break it down. Yeah, very true.
But running a marathon
So
is something that changes your life. So, if you haven't done one, I mean, I tell people around, go and run a marathon, it'll change your life.
yeah, it is kind of the resilience, the patience, and a lot of things. Even I have not done, so I can't comment. I can only say and come back to you and say when I do one.
Let me tell you, you can do it.
Yes, I think we need to believe that we all can do it.
Absolutely.
So actually, I had a question, but which you already answered. That I wanted to know that coming from a 4G background, would you say that that helps some way to achieve our goals because you grow up living a healthy lifestyle and all. Since you already said that, I would want to know that what was your preferred sport during childhood and any special memory that you had around that, and any funny memory or special or interesting that you would like to share.
Like I said, I did track and field in school. I did high jump, long jump in school. I did basketball. Actually, I played basketball till college. And I took to long distance running and cycling only after I moved on from college. Yes, something that comes to my mind, which is hilarious. Actually, I can't stop cracking up just thinking about it. So I used to play basketball with all the boys in school, because I'd want competition, I'd want a rough game, I'd want a harder game, and I'd go and play with all the boys in school. And I remember my brother, I have an older brother, he was in the same school and super possessive, over possessive about the sisters. I found out a couple of I suddenly realized one fine day I went to the court to play and there were hardly any boys that came to play. I was like, what happened today? We had such a great game yesterday. And I found out that my brother had bullied them and said, dare you play with my sister? He was so possessive. And I was like, it's a
Oh,
sport, stop being so possessive. So, yeah, that's something that comes to my mind. But yeah, I have played every kind of sport in school.
but that actually speaks very loud and clear about the thought process, and a lot of many times that boys think that okay, not only because somebody's possessive, but they think that okay, this is our game and it might injure the girl or something, but it's not like that. A sport is for everyone, anyone and everyone.
But when you mix a team, obviously the dynamics change. You know what I mean? So either
Yeah,
you're playing
yes.
mixed. So I would be the only girl in a boys' team. I just bully my way in. So they were like, okay, come, it's fine. But they'd have one condition. Because I remember this was class 12. They'd say, come with 0 nails. You come with nails, we're not letting you play. Chop off all my nails. And those are the days when you're actually growing your nails. But yeah, it was great fun. I mean, I learned a lot and we played a lot. And yeah.
Yeah. So during your entire journey, like, is there any failure that you would like to talk about? Like, something that you were very well prepared for, like achieving something, but you failed at it, and it left a scar, and you took time to cope up with it, or if not, then how did you handle it? How do you handle failures?
So I feel failure is a part of success. You've got to fail, and fail in order to succeed. It's nobody just succeeds. Like I said, again,
Yeah.
basketball is an area that I used to love. So there's a quote from Michael Jordan, which I said, I don't remember exactly, but it's like, I missed 9,000 shots in my career, lost almost 300 games. Uh, I think 26 times all eyes were on him for the match winning shot, but he couldn't do it. And he says, so I failed and failed and failed in order to succeed. And he's still a legendary basketball player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So failure has
Yeah.
been a part of my life. I can't pinpoint any one particular failure as such, which really left a scar. But what I can talk about is, when I started running, like I said, so first marathon happened the way it did. And then for a couple of years, actually, for a few years, not even a couple of years, after that, I would just go out and run, enjoy. Even today, I enjoy. It's not that I don't enjoy running today, but what I kind of missed for a few first half marathons of mine was proper training, you know. So I'd go out
Yeah.
there and run, and without a training plan or without giving, enough attention to certain areas that I could have, and I obviously realized and started giving. So it was that lack of a training plan. You know what I mean? The lack of a method to the madness. So every time I thought, fine, because I have the endurance, I have, I can do X, Y, Z, I'll be able to do an X hour half marathon. But twice, thrice, I was not able to achieve it, And every time I'd analyze and say, why didn't I do it? Is because obviously I probably lacked in that method to the madness, because there is a science to running in the end. While I'm not very technical about running, I don't believe in being extremely technical, because I also feel it's a leisure sport. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's my time. But yes, somewhere I thought that I could have, and the minute I started training with a plan, I see a sea change in my performance. So I'd say something. Sure.
So yeah, actually that's a very good takeaway. Like don't, because many people, what happens, they give up when they fail once, twice, or more than twice. But everybody has a different level of understanding or picking up things. So if you're not able to achieve something, step back and analyze and to understand. So that you are very clear of. It's not that nobody can fail. Everybody fails, but as long as you have that sorted, you can achieve your goals.
And you look around, you read about people that have run marathons or half marathons, your age, not your age, younger, older, so you try and read about them, you talk to them, and like you exactly said, reevaluate, you realign your goals, and then of course work towards them, and then no looking back. I mean, I'm a go-getter, so I will get what I want. I try my best to go out there and get it.
Yeah. So do you read anything specific, or just like you mentioned Michael Jordan's quote that you keep thinking, is there any specific read that you follow, that has moved you, or any approach that helps you build yourself when you train your mind, or to keep yourself going, that maybe can help our viewers also to follow?
So again, like I said, it's also the upbringing, so from the very start, health and fitness was ingrained in us. So, that's been a priority for all of us from day one. So considering that's a priority, I guess what I do now is I keep realigning my goals. I set small goals, achieve the next goal, and then keep moving forward. You know what I mean? And also, as I grow older or achieve a next goal, my goal evolves. I mean, I want to do something else, say in mountaineering, or say in, in other fields or whatever. So that's something that I look at today. That's something that keeps me going. And like I said, once I achieve a next goal, then obviously what next, So my goal is not a really long-term goal, while I know that, for example, I want to do at some point in life, I want to be at the summit of Mount Everest. But in order to get there, I have, say, 30 other goals, in the next 10 years. So there'll be small goals, once I achieve my first goal, maybe goal, it goes to goal 2. So that's what keeps me kind of going.
With that, I would really want to know, like, how do you gear yourself up with the different marathons that you run at different locations? Because there are climatic changes, the temperature changes, there are elevation runs, because you're running international as well. So how do you plan it up? Because I think it's difficult.
So it's crazy. I know a lot of people that are hearing me may say that. So I'm not much of a planner, I have to admit. Right. So I prefer not knowing the route that I'm going to run on than knowing the route, because then I'm anticipating a hill, or I'm anticipating a decline or whatever. And I may kind of tire myself thinking about the hill that's about to come. Right. So I like surprises. That's me as a person. At the same time, in the same breath, I will read about that marathon in the last couple of years. For example, when I ran Boston, I read about, so Boston is known for the fact that it has crazy climatic conditions. In the 4 hours that I ran Boston, I saw all the seasons, from it being really cold, rainy, breezy, to hot and sunny and humid. So in the 4 hours that I took to run Boston, I saw every weather. I read about it, of course, and so I go prepared accordingly. And the other thing that I do is, I will land up at least a week before race day. So, I acclimatize,
Okay.
I look around, I see the start area. You're kind of familiar with the route, yet not familiar. The surroundings are familiar. You get used to the weather. I've eaten in the
Mhm.
same, because here I eat dal chawal. I'm not a pasta person. But there you end up with pasta mostly before a run, because that's easily available. So, get adapted to all of that. And you also get used to the weather. So, whether you want to layer up, maybe 2 layers when you start a marathon, 3-4 kilometers, you can shed off a layer. So, it's about reading about it, also getting ready to that extent. But I'm not somebody who goes into
Yeah.
extreme details, because that's somewhere I feel will bother me. I'll be like, oh, you know what?
Mm.
In the next 2 kilometers, I have this crazy hill coming up. I don't think I have energy, kind of stuff. So I just like those surprises. And of course,
Mm.
one knows that the course is hilly or it's flatter. So I have a broad idea. I always read about it to that extent, but I don't go into extreme details. I prefer
Yeah.
my running.
It's about how you're always training on your day-to-day life. You've kept it very consistent so that whatever kind of things come, you can accordingly make those changes and adapt to it and achieve your goals. Or
Absolutely.
because I think that is the key, that you're preparing yourself daily, come what may.
The consistency is key for anything, that be it sport, be it anything in life. I think
Yeah.
consistency is key. And when you train for a marathon, you obviously do various kinds of runs. So, like you said, if there's a gradient or there's hill, so you do hill running, so that is taken care of in the training. But the adapting part is when you go there, spend that 1 week, and then obviously
Mhm.
gradually just get into it and take the plunge and say, you got to do it. Signed up for it. You've paid to go through this pain, which you love. So you might as well go with the flow.
Okay, we had a question. When can I see a question? It just popped up, and uh, I had a question from somebody.
I can't see it on my screen.
Okay, I could see it, but it just went off. So, Riti, you were just mentioning that you're a very dal chawal kind of a person. How important do you think nutrition is for you to, sustain your daily runs? Because it needs a lot to fuel yourself, the amount of running that you're doing every day. And I'm sure we would also like to know what other fitness training you incorporate along with your runs to train yourself and make it a norm for yourself. So what would be the how important nutrition is, and what other things you incorporate in your fitness training?
So for me, or I'd say for everybody, in fact, nutrition is key. It's as important as training. It's one pillar is nutrition, one could be training. I mean, it's as important as what I'd say. So I am particular about what I eat, and what I usually do is I eat smaller meals through the day rather than 3 big meals. And I try and eat as natural, as organic. I try and avoid processed food. I completely avoid sugar. I'm not a sugar person at all. So those are things that I keep in mind. I ensure that I fuel myself well before I start a run. The other thing that I talk about, and I think is key and has changed the running game for me, is hydration. We need to hydrate really well as runners. So on the days that I have long runs, I actually double the quantity of water I have. And yeah, I guess the right carbs, proteins, extremely important, in order to fuel your runs. And then, like I said, I'll eat as natural as possible. So it is extreme. If you eat a well balanced diet, there's not much dietary change you need. Tons of fruits, everything that's seasonal. So I tell everybody, it's as simple. Eat what your grandparents ate or what they asked you to eat. Unfortunately, with people having less time today, we go for processed food, we go for canned tin stuff, we go for supplements. I'm totally averse to supplements. I'm somebody who says supplement the supplement. You know, if you can actually get something natural,
Yeah.
take your natural protein. You don't need protein powder. So if you can do that, nothing like it. It's easier on your gut than having to go for stuff that's processed, that's in packets. Uh, and the other thing is that I plan my week's diet, so I know I have everything at home that I need. It's not about, oh, I'm hungry now, I'll open the fridge and stuff like that. I do snack, but for me, snacking is, it could be boiled eggs, it could be roasted chanas, roasted peanuts. It could be carrots and cucumber, things like those. I mean, whatever is healthy, I have it. But that's the way, like I said, we've been brought up. I remember I used to tell my mom, and she would throw fruits at us, and we'd look at her and say, "Arey, chocolate, ice cream kind of stuff." And she'd be like, "No, this is what you get." We used to literally have like an ice cream day or a chocolate day in the entire week, So yes, eating healthy is a habit, but I think it's, and if you eat healthy and you eat a well-balanced diet, which I feel, like I said, is paramount, you'll also end up performing better. You'll have stronger runs rather than eating excess sugar, excess carbs, all of that. So yeah, it is extremely important to have that well-balanced diet.
Yeah, over a period of time, how it impacts and makes you better. So you've always resorted to the proper food sources, the right food sources, fueling yourself with that.
I cheat too. So there would be days I'd love a pizza. There'd be days I'd love chola bhatura, but like chola bhatura days are literally twice in a year. I don't crave that. I go all out. Then there's no looking back. It can be 4 bhaturas and chole. It's like that. But I try to stay away from I mean, all this takes a while to digest. It's not. It's high calories. So I just try and keep it as simple as I can.
Right. And would you incorporate like other fitness trainings apart, like to keep yourself mobile and stronger? What other things would you practice?
Absolutely.
And how often?
I love practicing yoga. I mean, so I do that at least twice a week. That takes care of my flexibility, my mobility. I also do a lot of strength training at home these days because of the pandemic, of course. Otherwise, I'd also once in a while hit the gym. But I'm not really a gym rat anymore. But I've got enough and more weights at home. And I do a lot of body weight workouts. So, lunges, squats, things like those, plank holds, various forms of these exercises that are body weight push-ups. I have a pull-up bar that I've installed thanks to the pandemic. I do a bit of weight training as well. So I feel cross training and strength training complements running. It's extremely important to keep the muscle that you use, strong. So yes, I do all of this, and this I probably do, say, 3 days a week for an hour each.
Yeah. Okay. I think that is what the question we had also right now from Shanu, and he was asking it. It just popped up and went, but it says, it's great to know about your journey. However, apart from running, I would really want to know how you maintain your fitness levels to continue the sport. As a coach myself, I do understand. However, I would really want you to share your experience and learnings so that it can help the viewers. I think that's where you were just mentioning about the other trainings, right?
No, cross training and strength training also helps you, kind of, like I said, it also helps in lesser injuries. You're lesser prone to injuries because, when you're running, it's a unilateral movement and it's a high impact sport. So you're actually running in that one movement. So you need to also strengthen the muscles that are using to run, that you are using to run. So it's important to do this. So it could be, when I say cross training, it could be swimming, it could be cycling, it could be roller blade skating, if you like doing that, any of those. It could be, like I said, body weight training, yoga. So all this complements, it keeps the muscles and joints strong, and of course helps you run better, enhances the running performance. You run stronger, you're lesser prone to injuries. I know that. And what also happens is, otherwise you have these minor niggles that you'll keep ignoring, and they turn into injuries, and you don't realize that it's because of overuse of that one particular muscle in the same way. So I guess this is extremely important as you run longer and over a period of time.
Yeah, this was actually a very important question, and good to know for all who are trying to start, because I would like to share my experience here also when I was just randomly trying to do it, because I was a kind of a person who would want to move and run about and work out, but I never thought that I need to balance it out with other trainings like you just mentioned to strengthen your muscles, or say nutrition. And I did injure myself along with a couple of friends who have literally a knee injury. So it's very important to balance it out, read well, understand well, and know the technique.
That's true. What, we get lazy. We come from a nice long run, we're exhausted, we're tired, we're like, oh, forget the stretching, forget the warm up, forget the cool down. We want to quickly start our run. And we all learn from our mistakes. I've also learned from my mistakes. I've been injured, and injury is a part of an athlete's life. It's no big deal, I remember people say, oh, you'll be injured, you'll have this, you'll have. So it's a part of an athlete's life. If you're into sports, you're bound to have these minor injuries, which obviously over a period of time, you recover, you go into rehab, you take care of them. But it's important. It's extremely important. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd also like to add one thing because it's very important from this statement that you just made. I have always done a 10K, not beyond that. It's just that I never did. But a 10K would be very difficult for me. And so the last 10K that I did was in 2012, and then I just stopped doing. And I just said, "Ki, it's not happening." But then later I started focusing on other techniques like strength training and cross training and everything fueled with proper nutrition. And then when I was in Bangalore, this midnight marathon came in, and just was like, let's give it a try. And because I was doing everything that you just mentioned, it just happened seamlessly. I mean, I was not practicing running or anything, but I did a 10K as if it was a cakewalk. It was not a run. So it's very important. I mean, I wanted to add my experience so that people really understand this point.
Yeah, we all learn from our mistakes. I've also had, like I said, injuries. So, you learn and you grow, you evolve as long as you're open to learning.
Yeah.
You just get lazy at times. And, while I'm teaching what I am, there are times I also get really lazy. And then I have to give myself a kick on the butt and say, Riti, come on, move, And just be conscious about the mistakes you're making if you are once in a while and rectify them the next time. You're fine.
Yeah. So that's why, there are a lot of myths that hover around running, because a lot of people will just randomly say that, oh, you should not run so much, you'll have knee injuries and that'll make sit you back forever for life. But that's not true. It's how you need to balance it out. We have a question which says, Riti, how do you keep moving and keep yourself motivated to run?
It must be Vatsala. So, like I said, I have goals. I have these goals. There are days I actually wake up and I curse myself. I also have those days. I mean, I'm normal, right? So there are days I wake up and I'm like, oh God, I need to sleep for an hour more. Why do I have to wake up and run? It's crazy. But then I remind myself of that goal that I have put down in my bathroom at the back on the door. And I say, you know what? I'm missing one day of training. So if I miss this today, I'll have to make up for it tomorrow, which means 2 continuous days of training. Or I'll say, what if I don't do this, for being silly? So then I talk to myself. Basically, I just do self-talk. I get up and go to the restroom. I look at the mirror and talk to myself and tell myself that, what? It's just another day, Riti. Get up. Once you're out of the door, you'll feel better. Once you kick some butt, you'll feel even better. When you look at your stats, you'll feel even better. And then, like I said, I also look at, the larger goal, which is running the next marathon I'm training for, how I'd feel when I cross that finish line. That every bit of me waking up. So there are days I wake up and I go training and I actually want to throw up, It's been such a hard training day when I do my speed workouts. I want to throw up. But then, like I said, those are the training days that make me run that marathon,
Vatsala has a question in here. She says, don't you get upset and depressed with injuries? How do you make a comeback and come back strong?
Oh, of course. So, one point that I tell everybody again is we all will have some niggle or the other at some point. And, usually you don't have, very seldom you'll have like an accident, which is a major injury, as an athlete, like it's an accident. Otherwise, you usually have niggles that turn into injuries. So extremely important to be aware of your body when you're running. If there's a niggle, address it. Talk to a friend, talk to an experienced runner. And if it's not getting okay, go consult a doctor, a sports doctor. So all I say is, address the niggle before it turns into an injury. And of course, I've had injuries. There were days I would wake up. So I had a meniscus tear and a ligament tear. This is 5 years ago on my right knee. And I remember there were days I'd wake up and start crying because, I'd wake up otherwise to go run, but I'd wake up and I'd not be able to go run. But then I'd keep reminding myself, that, listen, it's only about 3 months. The doc said only 3 months of doing what he's told me to do, which is, some workouts at home or go to the gym and rest. I mean, the rehab period. I'd keep telling myself it's only 3 months versus what could have been worse, right? So you look at the bright picture, you say it's only about 3 months, it's okay, you'll heal. And then, of course, I would do something that I could do. So I would check with the doc and I was allowed to cycle instead. So I'd go cycle, I'd go for a walk, but I was just not allowed to run. You just keep talking to yourself, count your blessings, look around, tell yourself that it could have been worse, which is true. I mean, what if I had an injury which said I could never run? What if I had an injury which said I can't run for 2 years, So just be hugely grateful for the fact that I got lucky with just a little injury, which is just about say 3 months or 2 months. So that's how I'd
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
look at it.
Absolutely, and that's a good way for somebody to keep going. That okay, if you have an injury at one body part, if you're not completely gone, then just do something else. Like you just mentioned, you went cycling. So that's a good takeaway that people should not just completely say that I'm going to do nothing. You can do
Yeah, I could
something.
swim too. So, I asked the doc, what is it that I can do? So he said I could swim, I could cycle. So, after 15, 20 days of the initial painful bit, he let me cycle, he let me swim. So, I took to those for a bit.
Alternates, yeah. We had a question from Aritra Saha who says that how are you managing your how have you been able to keep yourself in shape during these lockdown days when nobody's able to run outdoors?
Oh
I
God, how
think
I
that
can't
it's a
wait to
good
go outdoors and run with you, Arithro. So can't wait. Let's hope we're allowed to run soon enough. Online workouts. So what I've done is, while I'm a certified trainer, I must admit, like I said, we all have our weaknesses. I also need a kick in my butt. I get lazy at times. And listen, being restricted indoors is obviously, you wake up, acha, I'll go in 1 hour, I'll go in 2 hours. So I have also signed up with a trainer, and I love her. I must say that. Thank you, Richa. Her name is Richa. So she kicks my butt. We do online workouts. She's a trainer too, so we do workouts
wonderful.
together. Yeah, I do yoga with her. I do strength with her, and then I do my own stair workout. I go for walks. So something or the other. But I'm trying to stay sane. There are days I'm ready to pull my hair apart, but yeah, I decided to sign up with her since the lockdown, and it's really helped. So if people are struggling or not, having that motivation to do this alone, guys, sign up with an online trainer. Do a workout virtually. It really helps. You're committed.
Yeah.
She's waiting for you or he's waiting for you. You need to sign up, sign in. You'll get it done. So that's what.
Yeah.
And like I said, there are times I need a kick in my butt too, but I ensure I get it. So I'm that person who gives me that kick, and I'll get it done.
So during this time, there were many people who picked up new skills or added something new because they had a lot of time staying at home. So was there something for you also that you pursued something or maybe a simple upgrade? Is it there's something that you would like to share?
Like most of us, I also entered the kitchen, and Brain tried my cook, and he was willing to quit his job and say, "Madam, kitchen se bahar jaiye." So it was that, but I did up my culinary skills to an extent. I mean, a little bit. I did try my hand cooking and stuff like that, but that was at home. What I also did was signed up for a marathon running coach certification. From the North American Institute, yeah, for sport and fitness professionals in the US. So I'm currently pursuing that. I should be done hopefully in the next few months. It's a pretty tough course. So, time to upgrade my skills as well and give back to the community, as you rightly said. Yeah, so been doing that as well.
Yeah. So all our viewers definitely know who to reach out when they want a marathon coaching in future because we have somebody here already
I look
and who's
forward to that.
upgrading herself time and again.
I look forward to that. Yeah, nothing like being able to do, do what you love doing, and do it professionally. I mean, if I could do that, I mean, I am doing it professionally. I coach people even now, runners, strength training. But yeah, to be able to do it after I get this certification would be, would be really satisfying for me.
Very true. We have another question from Jyoti who says, "What's your long-term goal?" Just a curiosity, but what's your long-term goal?
Oh my God, I have so many goals. In which sphere? In so many goals.
Maybe something that is very interesting you would want to share with all of
We
us.
want to summit the Mount Everest. So that's a goal I have in this lifetime.
Yeah.
I want to run the world majors. I've run three. I have three to go. I want to the Comrades. There are lots of things I want to do. I mean, I really want to do a lot of things.
Okay. Vatsal already nominates herself as a mentee for you. She just mentions.
Tell her she's a
Um, yeah, she can hear you absolutely.
Pat, you're on board. Thank
Preeti,
you.
one question. One question. there are a lot of social taboos, a little bit, which I would like to bring up and know your views on this, because many times, we think that our life is difficult and the other one's is a cakewalk, because just because the person knows how to handle it. And you would see many people saying that, oh, he or she could do something because they had a lot of support at home or support from friends. So do you think that's the right way for people to take, because or you're able to fulfill because of that? Or how would you like to answer such questions? Because these are like social beliefs that are floating, and they just think that the other person's life is easy. What are the kind of challenges that you faced?
So,
And
support from your loved ones, your family is essential, and it's important because it also encourages you, motivates you, or is helps you achieve that goal you have. However, that's not the only thing that gets you to what you want. Or I don't have or do what I do because I only had the support, right? I wanted what I'm doing bad. I went out there, got it. So, what happened very simply? I remember when I started running, I'll give you my own example. When I started running, I obviously lost a few friends. When I say lost a few friends, I meant they said, "Ye pagal ho gayi hai, she's lost it. She'll come to a party at 7 o'clock and she'll leave at 9 o'clock. People don't even come at night. She stopped drinking. We call her, she doesn't
right.
come." I did lose a few friends, but I didn't lose the friends that meant the world to me or that cared for me, because they knew that running is far more important to Riti than a party at night. You know what I mean? Her priority is
Yeah.
so people will come along. You will have their support. So same goes with family. Your family loves you. They will support you in what you want to do. So I feel all of us have the support anyway, right? You need to be able to convince them, talk to them, tell them that this is what you really want. This is your gut. This is your heart. This is your happy space, and go out there and get. In the process, of course, there are going to be many naysayers. There are going to be tons of risks that you have to take. I also feel you don't take a risk, you don't get a. I mean, no risk, no reward. That's something that I've seen, I've experienced. I quit the corporate world in a jiffy. Vatsala is a witness to that. I remember 9, 10 years in the corporate world, and I actually went one fine morning to my boss with my resignation letter, and I said, "I am not coming from tomorrow." And he said, "What happened?" I said, "No, I'm not coming from tomorrow. I'm not very happy doing this." And he says, "No, no, you can't go." Obviously they tried to talk me through it. I was just not happy because I got no time to do anything that I enjoyed doing, you know, which is my workouts, my runs, time with my animals, being able to travel, trek, go mountaineering. And I said, "Listen, how long will I live this life? This is this is my youth." So I'm just saying, so I took that
Yeah.
risk at that point in time in life. And not that my family was instantly happy when I told them I'm quitting. They said, "Fine, pursue your heart, but think about it, think through it. You have a cushy job, you have a salary coming. Will you?" So I said, "You know what? But I'm not happy waking up every morning and going and doing that job. Because in the end, I come back really tired, crabby, irritable, not be while I'm happy doing what I do at work, but there's so much else I want to do, I'm not able to pursue. So I'm just saying, so I took that risk, I made them understand, I told them this is what I want to do, and I went after it, and I had the support I wanted because they cared for me, they loved me, right? And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I left no stone
Yeah.
unturned. And that's exactly how I started my business as well. It was a decision like this. I went with my gut, and no looking back.
Absolutely. So it is a lot many times that we only stop ourselves because while we have the support of a couple of people always consistently with us, we sometimes restrict ourselves. So it's very important to, as you said, very clearly communicate to people and put your thoughts across what is important and what makes you happy.
What will my parents think? What will my so and so think? How can I
Yeah.
quit a job? I am so many years old. I can't start running. It's just a stigma. It's just something that's in your mind. There is no age for learning. There is no age for running. As simple as that. There are people that come to me. I can talk to you about some fabulous runners who started running at 60 years of age, and they run marathons today.
Mhm.
My own core, I mean,
Right.
it's all in the mind. I mean, if you want something, don't we find the time to do what we? So if I want to go out and party, I go out and party, right? So similarly,
Yeah.
I tell people I can wake up in the morning at 5 and go run if I really want it. So it's as simple as that. I mean, I find the time to do what I really want to do. It's about finding that time. So if you want it bad enough and you work towards it, the universe conspires, not just the family. I mean, supports you. The universe conspires.
Absolutely. Yeah. Riti, we've spoken about your experiences, the not obstacles, but your own obstacles that you just decided to not think too much and just take decisions. We've talked about how what your take on your failures were. So slowly, with your own efforts, you started becoming successful with things. Like success is a relative term for everyone, but you started to become successful by achieving things that you wanted to do. So you've been associated and been a captain with Adidas runners. How do you feel when you were reached out with them when you were there? Like, did you ever let that success get into your head? How did you balance it out?
You know, I was with Adidas for 4 years, and it was truly life changing, an incredible part of my part of my life for those 4 years. Like I said, running has given me something that nothing else has been able to give me. And for 2 years, I was a crew runner, which is like I was a part of the team, but I was a runner. And then they reached out, and I was asked to be captain. Happily so. I mean, I was elated, overjoyed, and I took over as captain. I don't know how the 2 years flew by. I made the most amazing friends on the planet. Friends that are family today. I call family today. And yeah, I mean, the journey was incredible. I was a runner with them. I mean, I had the title of a captain, but I ran with them. I ensured their training got done. I was there for them, the community, when they needed me. I mean, I did all that I could, because let me tell you that, I was able to run or do what I wanted to or achieve my goal because those guys gave me the energy and the motivation. It was because of their stories, their inspiration, their transformational journeys, that I was able to wake up every morning and go out there and run. So, they inspired me. So it's a two-way street. I mean, I was a runner with them. I am a runner with them, and I can't wait to run with them anymore. I mean, I can't.
Yeah, yeah. And do you think that it further paved a way to achieving or align with your personal goals, which you are pursuing now?
That's what I said. So another thing, yeah, I missed talking about that. The other thing that it, worked in my favor was, it was aligned with my personal goal, like I said, right? So obviously it brought out the best in me. I was able to give it my best. And, there was never any sort of pressure. We all knew that running is, about self. And that's what I always preach. It's not about competing with somebody else.
Yeah.
It's about going out there and being a stronger, better runner and human being than what you were in the previous run. So that's what I preached. That's what everybody did. And we were a fabulous family. I mean, we ran together, we grew, we literally evolved together. I mean, like I said, I've seen people that came that couldn't run even 100 meters or 500 meters, and they run a marathon today. I mean, that's how transformational journeys I've seen. And it's really left an impact on me. And I've met the most amazing, like I said. I mean, I've met some friends that are like family, and yeah, they're here to stay.
Absolutely. That's wonderful to know. I mean, you just with your journey, we get to know something. I mean, it just comes to me that you don't let you don't take failures to heart and success on your head. You just kind of strike the balance because you're enjoying the journey, doing something that you absolutely love all the time. So, in turn, the community also, kind of pushes you to get the better out of yourself.
They're incredible. Every member in the community had strengths that came out so beautifully, and that inspired or motivated me to bring out my best. For me, just because I was captain didn't mean I have to do an X time run. It was about being able to do what best I could, so they looked up to me, and that's that. I gave it my all.
Yeah.
I was sincere. I gave it my 100%, and I was there for them when they needed me. And we grew, we evolved, and yeah.
Wonderful, Riti. Riti, we've got to know a lot of beautiful things from you, very inspiring and very motivational stuff. And the best part is that my takeaway is that overthinking really does not help. Sometimes you have to just get into it, not fail exactly, but get some learning and do something better. But to sit over it is really not a solution. So that's really wonderful.
We learn from every experience, good or bad. There is something that comes out of it irrespective. We
have people who are saying that you're an epitome of leadership.
That's very kind. I'm grateful to have these guys around me. I'm telling you, rulao mat mujhe.
No. Before people start making you cry, let me say that if somebody with no experience of running ever wants to start, like, how would you suggest that a person should start improving on the pace of runs, or how should they take rest, and some overall mantra from you, maybe? to all the fitness
Like I
enthusiasts out
said,
there?
again, running is something which is very basic. It's no rocket science. It's something that we all can do. We walk. So running is, you walk slightly faster as jogging. You jog faster as running, right? So it's literally one foot in front of the other. So I'd say just go out of that door. Make it a habit. So when you want to start out, do it at least thrice a week because consistency is key. You can't do it once a week and come back and say, oh, I went once, now I'll go 10 days later. So that's one. The other is, baby steps. So even if you do 500 meters today, increase distance only by 10% every week and run very slowly. It's okay to walk, jog, run. That's how I started. When I talk about how I started, my first run was 500 meters. And even those 500 meters was walk, jog, run. And I felt like I ran a marathon in those 500 meters, And don't give up. Nothing comes easy. Running is not easy, but it's a beautiful journey. It will change you as a person. Stay consistent. And you talked about pace. I'd say pace comes, it will fall in place. Don't concentrate or focus on pace. Initially, just walk, jog, run, increase that every week. So say 1 minute walk, 1 minute jog, 1 minute run. Then next week you could probably do a 1 minute walk, 2 minute jog, 1 minute run. So like that, keep increasing it and keep increasing the distance by 10% every week. But just stay consistent, stay focused. Yeah. Enjoy the process. Pace will fall in place, everything else will fall in place, but just don't give up.
Absolutely. So a lot of things and a lot of beautiful things to know from you. Even I have taken a note because, sometimes no matter what, we all have those days that you just feel low for no reason. Or there are some reasons and you think that there should be something to push you. So one thing which is for me, which I will take away from this session is visualizing success, because some days I'm like, why do I want to do this? And many people could resonate with a lot of your experiences, especially when you spoke about injuries. So I think people will surely take care of addressing the injuries, taking a step back, and make sure that they keep doing other things that keeps them moving.
And you listen to your body. It's not about, don't overuse it. Don't overuse any particular muscle. That holds true for any kind of sport. As long as you listen to the body, you'll be fine. You start running suddenly. There's some people, who come with endurance, who have a fitter body, who are leaner. So they could probably do far more than another person. That does not mean you start out running by 30 kilometers a week. You know what I mean? So you've got to start slow and steady, baby steps. And we'll all find our, the right training or the right mileage and the right for our body, for our endurance or fitness levels as we go forward, as we move on. That happens.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked, we just have a couple of minutes. So I want to know actually, what is your idea of chilling? We have talked a lot about moving and getting going and all, but when I want to chill, there's some things that I want to do. So what I think people will want to know, when you have a rest day, how do you treat yourself? What do you do to pamper yourself?
So for me, again, it's a very runner's thing. I like to take a soak, so bathtub and a nice Epsom salt soak, or just a salt soak. So that's one of the things that I always do, if and when I can. Of course, if I have the luxury of time. I love chilling over a glass or two of wine, put on a nice movie, just put my feet up, spend a lot of time with my dogs. I have 4-legged babies at home. So, I spend a lot of time with them, or even pick up a light book. So either of these. You talked about books earlier. Sorry, it skipped my mind then. But, for people that are starting out to run, or even if you've been running for a while and if you've not read this book, it's a beautiful read. I assure you, if you pick it up, you'll not keep it down till you finish it. What I talk about when I talk about running. It's a Japanese author called Murakami. It's a beautiful book. And then for us runners, been running for a while, and again, adventurous read. Very interesting is a book called Born to Run. I'm forgetting the author, but that's again a great book. But get what I talk about when I talk about running before you get Born to Run. But so
okay, wonderful.
What do you do to chill?
I have a dog, so I play and I get an extra time to chill with him. I also have a small garden, balcony garden, so I do a lot of card chart trimming and upgrading that or something or the other. So when I'm at home, I would do that.
Okay, I do that too, by the way. I love gardening. I have like 2 levels of terraces, and it's like a rainforest.
Oh, I think I saw that in some of your stories before getting to talk to you. So that's a good way of recreation and giving yourself some time.
And I also do something that I can with my plants. Actually, I talk to them also, which is crazy, but I do.
Yeah, people who talk, they can understand. So I'm glad I found one more person who does that. So thank you so much, Shriti, for sharing your beautiful experiences. I'm sure there are a lot of takeaways that people have. I have, and thank you for infecting all of us with this positivity, this exuberance that you have. It was great, and a beautiful Saturday, I think, for all of us.
Thank you so much for having me, Sudiksha. I mean, it's been a pleasure, a complete delight to be on board here and share my little experience that I could. Feel free to reach out in case you want to, and of course, we'll be in touch. Thank you, Vatsala. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It was a pleasure being here.
Thanks, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you.